Welcome to LU Live Church. This is your global spiritual community portal, and I'm your host, Reverend Dr Dawnecia Palmer. Our title today, How to Love God. This week we have been looking at loving God. Yesterday, in the live segment, it was youth fellowship, and the youth took over. They did the service, and they gave a wonderful word. The speaker, she was only 13 years old, and she gave a wonderful word on what it is to love God. We had the 14-year-old, and she was in charge of doing the testimonies, and it was just wonderful how they led that service. So today, without further ado, I'm just going to jump in. We're going to upload their video sometime during the week, but for today, we're going to go a little further, and we're sending this out globally. So let's start with taking a deep, grateful breath. Will you? After three. 1, 2, 3. Go deep, hold, and let go. Wonderful. How to love God. This is the greatest feeling of expression that there is. Knowingly loving God and being enveloped by such a love in return. The frequency is ultramagnetic, powerful. You could say it blows one's mind. Yet, to be truthful, it's the exact opposite. It actually frees the mind. You are at ease and calm, present and one with the all good, source of love and kindness. Then there is a happy, joyful vibration going on inside, which attracts kindness and peace, and there's just a sense of value, forgiveness, acceptance, beauty, and goodness. All of this when we are, it's just wonderful. Such wonderful love comes to us in return when we love God. Of a truth, loving God is the ultimate experience. And why is that? Why is it important? Who should and who can? Well, let's see. We all can. Everyone and anyone. We all can and we all should. There's a scripture for this. So apart from for God so loved the world that it gave everything, it gave itself, what I would like to share from is found in Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 5, and again in Matthew chapter 22 and verse 37, and also in St. Mark chapter 12 and verse 30. It says we should love the Lord. Well, it didn't say should. It says love the Lord with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. Mark in his writing says, love the Lord with your heart. And what is the Lord? And who is the Lord? The Lord is the great law of the universe. And what is the great law of the universe? It is that which lives our members. It is that which moves us. It is that which is the frequency of music and sound. It is also the frequency of silence. We should love that with all our heart, our soul, our mind, and Mark says there, with all our strength, meaning all our energy and our breath. So this, signifies that something is very sincere when we are loving with our all. We are doing something sincere and very deep and undivided commitment. It is all-compassing emotion, desires, and one's will. It means that we not just serve God by loving and giving, it means service to others with complete and utter sincerity. We are doing this out of devotion. That means going beyond superficial duties. Superficial duties like going to the temple, how often we go to church, and so on. These are superficial duties that are outside of ourselves, such as the washings and the eatings and the wearings and so on. These does not imply commitment, total commitment and sincerity to love God. Nor is it just about our feelings either. You know, it goes on to say, with all your heart, all, not just the heart, but the soul, and not just the soul, but the mind, and not just the mind, but your very breath. And so we can see then, when we encompass all of that, that it is a holistic commitment. We are committing our whole being, our whole awareness to loving that which lives you. In a way, it's about putting everything one is, one has, to be pleasing. Did you hear that? To be pleasing. Doing it with an intention to be pleasing. So then it's not just a hit and miss. Okay? It is a deliberate action, a deliberate purpose. So that at the very pulse of our existence is oriented around, consumed by love. Consume with and by love. You know, it was written in our species, right inside our species, are a likeness to the creator of humankind. Therefore, what am I trying to say? If it says in scripture that God, life, so loved the world, so loved its creation, that it gave of itself, it gave its all, then if you and I are made in that a likeness, then you and I is also to give our all, because then it's reflecting of that from which we came. Stands to reason, right? So in creation, the rest of the 8.5 billion people, purpose is to connect with the divine. In when we do that, it brings complete freedom. It brings protection. It is our power and it is our peace. It really does. It really does help us. How to love God is to love with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind, and with all our strength. And from that, we see we have the wonderful benefits, as I just said. Such connection is peace and comfort, comfort in difficult times. It's easy to find comfort in good and happy times, but loving God, loving life, loving that which creates you, oh my God, brings you peace even within difficult times. Because you then understand that if something is going wrong with somebody else, you really think, oh my goodness, that which creates me, that which creates them, if I could love that, I could go beyond the difficulties. I can strive through the difficulties. And it brings that sense of ease and it brings that sense of peace. It brings hope as well. It brings you hope because you realize that you are connected to something bigger and more lasting. You see, when we seek to love God, we are actually connecting to the source of our being. And that it then encourages us to become the very best that we can become. Lastly, it lightens our burdens and shed light on the path that we are about to take, which is very important. Not just is it shining light on the journey now, but it's shining light on the journey to come. That is what happens when we take the time to actually love God. So it sheds the light and then it guides you so that we arrive always the best version of ourselves. I like that. I'll say that again. Loving God lightens our burden and sheds light on the path we are about to take, guiding us so that we arrive the best version of ourselves. This united love brings harmony to all areas of our life because it is far from, I'm going to tell you the truth now, it's far from being religious, okay? It's not just about being religious at all. Rather, it is a human, it's a human personal inherent right that needs to be exercised. That right was put in us, as I said earlier. We were created in a likeness of love itself. So that love loves what it created. And so that is why there's a call inside of us, an inherent call inside of us to do the same, to love that which created us, even as that which created us loves us. And when we are connected to that, and why do you think we have breath? Why even the ones we love that are not here? It's because they were here, isn't it? And they were living, they had breath within them. That love, that was the love of life for us, is to give us life. And now, if we should take the time, how? How do we love life? Desire that love, to love that which love you. That's number one. Number one, how is to desire. This desire. Okay? Desire is not a bad thing when it's rightly directed. Desire to love that which lives you, which breathes you. Okay? Number two, just as important, take time. Begin to be more aware. How can you become more aware? You have to set aside a time within your life to get better acquainted with that which lives you. You will get to know life better. You will get to know God better when you set aside a time just to get better acquainted with your breath. Yes. And do you know what happens when you are so aware of life living you? That life that is living you loves you. That's why it's living you, because it loves you. Every breath is it is a vibration, a frequency of love. Do you know what will happen to your life? Oh my God, as I said, there is peace and love and kindness and all of that oozing out. It then causes you to have a high vibration of kindness coming out of it, because it is from kindness that love came from God to create. And so, as we begin to operate, now we are so united in love. That united love brings harmony to all areas of our life. So, as you can see, it's nothing to do with just religion, okay? We need to exercise our inherent right to love that which creates us. That's our inherent right. If we're going to stand up for justice, we're going to stand up for right, that's your right, is to love back that which loves you. We can't do it any other way, because we were created and made in that likeness. And so then we begin to experience and express at our highest potential. So, number three, then, after we desire and after we become more aware, now we are having to share. We're having to share from this knowing. Our desire is fulfilled. We now desire to love that. You are loving life. You are getting more acquainted with life. And now there is a greater desire to share that even in your work, to share that in how you experience life. So you're starting to give. And the first person you give to is yourself. The greatest gift you can ever give yourself is self-care. Self-care, not knowing, not even taking consideration that which breeds you, is selfishness. That don't make any sense. It's not even caring for yourself. Okay? It's just being selfish. But being full of care for yourself, knowing that you're connected to that love that that lives you. Oh my goodness. You begin to share from that place, and you begin to give to yourself. That giving to yourself then begin to ooze out to others. And so you're sharing from living, from loving, even at work. Fourth and last, within that whole thing of how, is then you to be still. Be still. The process starts all over again. In that stillness, there's a desire to love that which lives you. And as you just breathe and be in that stillness, you're not making an excuse, you're not accusing, you're just being still, and you're just observing life. and you're just now, from that awareness of getting to know life better comes kindness. Life shows itself to you, just opens up more opportunity to love you and opportunity for you to love. So it then creates a desire to love that which lives you even more. And when that happens, life becomes ecstatic in your experiences and your expression. You've been listening to the Reverend Dr. Dawnecia Palmer today. I wish you a happy, loving day and week ahead. To donate a love gift to my channel, there's a PayPal link in the description box below. PayPal is a safe option for all your details. All your details are hidden and well protected. So I say thank you in advance. Please share this with somebody, with your friends, your family, and you can leave us a comment or a prayer request to let us know you were here. Bless you as you continue, grow to love life. May you experience greatest love ever. Bless you.